because I think this happens to so many women, and sometimes you really need a sign to know that you should change, should do something. And I hope women can, make this change before something really, before expecting a huge sign. But well, let's talk. We're going to talk more about that. The second question refers to your company, the company you founded, which is Experimente-se. So, in your company, what are the main reasons why women decide to change careers, and what are their biggest fears?
Excellent question, because they have so much fear, and so first of all, the main reasons now why they decide to change careers are normally they don't like their job, or they got bored of it. They're looking for freedom, so to organize their day in their own way, or they don't feel recognized for all the effort they put in. They miss having time for them and their family, or they're looking for new and more attractive opportunities, or they're getting almost there in the burnout. So those are the main reasons. And regarding fears are the main reasons why women take so long to decide a career, to do a career change, even though sometimes they know it's the right thing or the best thing to do, but fears push them backwards, and the main fears are, first of all, fear to fail. The second, and then that's not in a particular specific order, but then there's a lot of what people would think of me, the judgment. Then fear of losing all the recognition and the status of the previous career, that it's so hard to achieve. Then being financially dependent, it's another fear. Or leave the job they're used to do something they're not. And I mean, there's others, but those are the most important ones. But I say fears are normal in all kinds of change. It's not only about a career change, but we have fear when we change, when we get out of the box, when we go out of the status quo, when we change things. And now I'll talk about a fear that all the women will share with me. The fear of leaving your boyfriend. Okay, you're in a relationship, you're not happy anymore, you don't like the guy anymore, he's not that nice as you thought he was. Anyways, but you still have fear to break up with him because you may be afraid to be alone. But when you start rationalize, isn't it better to be alone than be with somebody you don't like it anymore, right? So we have those. So it's important to stop and really analyze the fear. Okay, it's a fear because I mean we're comfortable with that, but it's not good anymore. So we change. So I like to analyze fears as well, thinking about risks. What are the risks considering the worst and the best scenario? Okay, so now using like a real fear of a career change, such as fear to fail. What's the worst scenario? Yes, it did not work. Okay, so I still have, I don't know, I have 15 years experience. Can I go back to my previous job? Maybe not in the same company, but most of the times answering to that risk is just the worst case scenario is be back where I am now. So come back to the career I was. So is that really a risk, right? Isn't it worth to change? And the other option that we have to analyze as well is not only thinking about the bad, the worst, or thinking about the best scenario. Okay, so it did work. Whoa, amazing. So now I'm really excited with my possibilities and with my new career. Okay. So analyzing fears by understanding this the real risks make women more prepared to organize the change, to prepare, to plan the change, to save money, organize the career change in the best way. And so risks are smaller and more predictable.
That's perfect. That's perfect. I love this analogy, this comparison, because we women, we've all been there. We've all wanted to, finish things with our boyfriends, and we just were afraid to do so, and things, we spent with them more time than we should. But it also happens with other changes, like both of us, we moved cities. We went to another city to study to gain things that we were not gaining in our hometowns. But it's still now we can say that it has been amazing to live outside Brazil and everything. But I am sure that before moving, we felt fear, right? We had our
Yes.
insecurities, and that's completely normal. But you cannot have everything you've always dreamed of if you don't make that move, right? So that's good. That's good. But it's completely understandable, the fear that women have. And Igor also sent another question here. It's this number 3 over here. What would you say to other women that think about it but have still not made a decision due to fear, insecurity, people that discredit it, etc.?
Good. I would say, first of all, that they need to think about the real risks. Yes, as I said, involved in the career change. For example, I had a client, and that has, her fear was, I have 20 years experience working as a journalist. She was not happy anymore. She wanted to change, and how can I leave behind all the suffering, all the career that it's never easy for us, right, to achieve and get a status. How can I leave all that behind to start a new career? And what I think it's interesting to analyze is, first of all, we don't leave everything behind. Our experience is there. We get our backpack and we select what is important. For sure, some specific knowledge of a specific career, for sure. I mean, maybe you're not going to use in your next career, but everything else that you learned, that you developed during your 20 years career, you bring with you. And the other thing, the other way of analyzing this is, okay, you have 20 years experience, you still have 35. Because if we start working at 20, 25 years old, we're going to work up to 70, 75 years old. That's true. I mean, we're going to live up to 100 years old. We know that from researchers. So if you're unhappy now with 20 years experience, would you be able to be more 35 years doing the same thing? And then it's, oh no, yeah, I have to move, I have to change now. So then it's clear that it's time to move, thinking about this way. And another way to help women on that subject, it's not always to think about the worst scenario, because when we think about fail, we're always thinking about our worst scenario. But what about if we think about we think and imagine the best scenario? What if it works? Because when we think about what if it works, it gives us the courage to go despite fear. The fear is going to be there, right? There's always fear. We're living from what we are used to do. So it's normally to have fear. And I like to always say about that, always talk about this, that courage is not the courageous, the brave people are not the ones that don't have fear, but the ones that goes despite fear. So let's think about, like the good and the possibilities. And then, I mean, we have courage, we can be brave to go and move on.
I love it. I'm gonna print it and put it in my bedroom. This quote, and this is a great message. We are not starting from scratch. Whenever we're changing things, we're not starting from zero. It's not. We've learned a lot. Whenever we go through things, we learn more and we're more experienced. And no matter if, we are changing things completely, it's not like we're starting from scratch. We are never starting from scratch.
And actually, I remember, sorry, I cut you.
No, go on.
I just remember I have a friend that she had a brilliant career as in a renamed law firm in Brazil, and she decided she was not happy, and she decided to open her catering firm, and so she was used to go to parties, amazing parties, and she as with her catering firm, she started entering to the same parties, but from by the back door. So because of her new job. So imagine, normally a lawyer is always really well dressed, that with her high heels, and now she was having serving with her catering company. But in the beginning, it was very weird for her, that social pushback. But afterwards, she got used to it, and now she's very happy with her new career and all that. But and talking about that with her, she told me, yeah, in the beginning, I thought, okay, I'm not gonna use anything from my experience as a lawyer. But actually, it helped me a lot, because the experience as a lawyer, having deadlines and all that, I'm always the first one to give. I mean, all the prices and everything that the clients ask me, I'm the first one to give it for them. Mondays are they to work. It's not because it's sunny that I'm gonna stay in the beach. Because she's used it to routine. Corporate routine that helped her in her business. And that was a differentiation from her to all the other people who was doing that. So we always bring things. She because she had a very good English because of her work and all that. She wrote books with her recipes and with how to receive people and all that, in Portuguese, in English. So she was using everything she had in her backpack as soon as that thing was interesting, and that was differentiating her from all the other people who was working with that.
Yeah, that's a great example. Yeah, I'm a lawyer, and I have, many, many friends that changed careers, being a lawyers, being successful lawyers in big law firms, very recognized and everything. And they just we always say, all of a sudden she changed careers. It's not like that. Of course, an entire process happened, but I have two examples just like that, because, you have not only the networking, because many people who could, acquire your new services, but also the know-how, because you live there inside and you know how things happen. I have a friend that she decided not to be a lawyer anymore, but she decided to conduct diversity and inclusion projects. And the main clients are law firms, because as you know, in law firms, we have this big problem of not having, people of color working in big law firms, and also gender is a big issue in leading positions. But she knows all that, so for her it's easy to work in projects for law firms. And another case, you spoke about burnout, and I don't know if there's a profession where we have more burnout professionals than lawyers. And she became a psychologist. She decided to leave her big law firm to become a psychologist. So this is an entire new career. But her main clients are lawyers, because she knows exactly how lawyers suffer and why. And also she had the network, because everyone knows her. So yeah, this is good example.
And one thing as well is that once you're good at something, lawyer or engineer, but you're good at, you arrived in a status position, you recognize it, you're gonna be good in everything else that you do. That's what I think. If you're not even that happy anymore with that profession and with that career, and you up there, why you're not gonna arrive up there in another career? It's like
true.
Knowing yourself, your potential, and that you're gonna be working with something you choose, being more mature, knowing a little bit more what you want, what is important for you. So it's about changing fear into, okay, let's think about a different way, the possibilities, and the okay, if I arrived here in this career, why not? I'm gonna do that in another different career that I'm choosing now.
Yeah, I love this change of mindset. And I can say that I've ran a marathon,
Oh,
once 4 years ago.
wow.
Yeah. And
Good,
I
amazing.
finished it. Almost died. Yes, I almost died, but that's okay.
You there,
But
you there.
yeah, I went there and I
You
did it.
survived.
And one thing that the coach always told me, because in the middle of the training, it's terrible. You start to doubt that you're going to finish, and it's really difficult. It's not easy to make a human body to run that many miles. And then he always told me that I should not think about how it's going to be hurtful and how many miles are still to come. I should always think about the finish line and how well I'm going to feel as soon as I cross the finish line. And then when I was meters away from the finish line, I just looked it and I remembered that, and I said, I'm the happiest person ever, and I'm so glad that I tried. And every part of my body hurts, but I'm the happiest person ever. So yeah, I love that idea of changing our mindset, to think how we're going to feel when things work out fine, because they will.
Cool.
Good. Okay, I got now talking about your company. I have a question here. So I would like to know how you work in your company, Experimente-se. Do you and also how you work over there, and if you assist clients that are not in Brazil, could you do that in English, in French? Just let me know how you work.
Okay, so first of all, what you just said about the marathon and all there, experimente means to try yourself, to dare yourself. So the idea was exactly, I want to do a marathon. Go for it. Try to do it. It's gonna be worth. If you if you fail, it's okay. At least you tried, right? Or maybe you're not gonna do in the first one, but maybe the second one. But the worst thing for me is not trying, arriving like an old lady saying, "Oh my God, I should try to do a marathon. That was my dream, but anyways, I think it would be too tough." And so the idea of my company, talking a little bit about experiments, is to help women to get out of the box, to get out of the automatic mode that it's not good. If it's good, it's okay. But if it's not good, if you don't fit there anymore, to try new things. And since most of our time we spend at work, work should be interesting. Work should be pleasurable, motivating, inspiring. And if it's not anymore, it's time to move on. That's what I say. So I created a mentoring methodology based, first of all, in my own experience, because I did it, and I did it without a career mentor, which was not easy. And it took me 4 years, more than 4 years, almost 4 years, and a lot of readings, a lot of courses that I took. But today I have a career where I use my passions, where I use my talents, my personalities there, and I'm connected. I'm letting the footprint that I wanna make, if I can say that. Anyways, you got it. So what is the process? The process is we start from, where am I? What's my current status? What is my current situation? What you don't like it anymore? What you don't want it anymore in your life? Then who am I? What are my passions, my talents, my personality, my purpose, my dreams, my strengths? Then what is pushing me backwards? Then we talk about fears. And we analyze fears. We get prepared to to go out despite of the fear. And then we think about, where do I want to get? What do I want to achieve? What is success for me? Because maybe when you start your career, success was one thing. I wanted in the beginning of my career, when I changed to marketing, I want to be the huge executive, the tough one. What's the name of that movie? Oh my God, forgot. The devil wears Prada. Remember? Miranda
Devil.
Priestley. Exactly. So I thought, sure, I was not that evil, right? But I thought that was amazing to get in an executive career that way. But that changed. So if my objectives, if what's success for me changed, there's no, why should I stay in the same career, right? So it makes sense to change. So understand that. Then analyze new career possibilities. Once you know, I mean, who you are, what do you want to get? Okay, now let's see the market. What's going on? What should I do to try to connect all those points? And then there is it arrives the crème de la crème. It's the cherry on the cake of the of my mentoring, which is the career experiment. What is the career experiment? Is when the client, the woman, she goes to spend an afternoon, or she talks to with an expert of the career she wants to do, to understand, okay, let's understand a little bit about the market now, from where I began, courses, career possibilities, networking, to see what kinds of talent is important in that career. Do I fit? Do I don't fit? Can I try some? Can I? What kind of types of career what are the possibilities in that career? Because sometimes there's a lot of different possibilities. Anyways, so then they try it. They feel comfortable. They feel empowered by the experiment, and then action plan. So it's finally to plan a way month a month to arrive to achieve your objectives. Okay. So your second question regarding clients. So I have clients all over the world, but most of them are Brazilians. But I'll be glad to have people from all over the world as soon as they speak English or French. French is even better, or Spanish. Okay.
Wow, you speak so many languages. German, not yet, right?
No, not at all.
Oh, that's good. All right. No, that's amazing. And just to finish on your methodology, you spoke a little bit already, but on planning, because planning it's probably a big part of the process of changing careers, right? So what do you do there on planning in Experimente-se?
Yes, can you hear me? Yeah. So regarding planning, I think it's not only planning, it's preparation, experimentation, and planning. So regarding preparation, first of all, they need to understand their potential, who they are, what are they looking for. Then experimentation, so they understand, they try the new career to see, okay, that's what I want to do, and I'm empowered to go forward. And then the planning, which is really the action plan. Okay, first of all, I need to organize myself financially, because I'm not going to be receiving the money, the salary I was used, the remuneration I was used to. So, and then an action plan month by month in order to achieve the objective they defined. And what is nice is that once you have an action plan, and it helps you start to give the first step, which is the hardest. And once you give the first step, which is not always to ask to drop to quit the company. Sometimes you're gonna do some courses before, save some money, get already in the network of the career you want to do, because you're already studying for that. That depends on, I mean, what are you gonna do? But it's not necessarily quitting the job. Maybe that's something you're gonna do afterwards. But you already start the move. And once you start the move and you give the first steps, then it's easier. You get into the movement, and then it's easier to achieve your objectives.
Yeah, that's also a good message, because people think that it's we have this saying in Brazil, 8 or 88, meaning that you have to do this or that. You cannot be in the middle. And it's not true. You can start things by staying in your own job. It's okay. I read a book recently called Side Hustle, and it's about that. Someone that you have your job and you feel safe there, because we all have bills to pay, and the job is doing fine, you're not super happy, but you're not sure if you want to move careers by tomorrow. You still have to know how you're going to feel in a new position. And by doing this side hustle, you start doing something else while being in your own job. This could be one strategy, and I like this message. And another thing is that, I'm a big planner and I like it. It's not, maybe I wasn't born like this, but I learned to be like this because by planning, I kill many of my insecurities, by planning, I'm going to a safer path, I know today I'm going to do that, and the other day I'm going to do that other thing. And this is this is coming closer to my goal. And I think this planning is absolutely necessary. And I'm so glad that you founded your company, because this is going to help so many people that are feeling lost and, not really being or developing their biggest potential because of fear, lack of planning, lack of mentoring. And I think that what you do is amazing.
Thank you.
And as to practical advice, copying here the question, how should a woman thinking about changing career start? So a woman is thinking about changing careers. Where should she start? What could be a brief action plan, a brief roadmap? I'm sure that this changes from person to person, and you would have to meet all of them. But is there a place where to start?
Yes, first thing that I like to say, to be clear, is that changing career is not easy.
Otherwise, we wouldn't be having this conversation, right?
Changing it all isn't easy. Easy is to keep working whenever you are on the automatic mode without changing your status quo. In a company that you already recognize, that people already know you, your job. But being unhappy, right? And then you arrive exhausted, you lay down on your sofa, you look for a nice, awesome Netflix series because you deserve it, right? So I'm not saying that's the best option, but for sure that's the easiest one. Live on the automatic mode, complaining about life, but that won't change anything. So just to say, because I think it's important to say that it's not easy. It's not easy. You need to put energy and effort to do so. And most of women who come to me, they're really, really unhappy with their current job, but they have no idea what else could they do. So they know they have to change, but they're totally lost, which is normal. I was there once. But to come out with a solution for that, you need to go deep in self-knowledge. You need, and that's actually the base of a career change, is to understand what do you want. Because if you don't know what do you want, if you don't know what are your strengths, if you don't know what are your passions, you're gonna change from one career to another just because, okay, I see a possibility, I see an opportunity, okay, so I'm gonna change here, but probably you're not gonna feel happy about it. So okay, I got lost. So no, the idea here is to start from inside out. So first you look inside, you understand who you are, passions, strengths, talents, what do you want? And then you go outside, you look at the market, you look at the options, you look how can you get money, okay? So that's the first thing about changing career that I would say, it's look inside and understand what do you want. Then my advice is if you want to do a career change, look for a mentor. Why? Because it's a hard shift. Trust me, I did it. So, and it took me almost 4 years. With a mentor, you have a methodology, you have someone to push you, you have someone to motivate you, or to help you to see things that you're not seeing by yourself sometimes, right? So and then I know you're gonna save, first of all, money, because at the end you do a lot of courses, a lot of things that it's not that direct, and you save time, which is our most important asset nowadays. Okay, so that would be my tips from somebody who wants to change career now.
Yeah, that's good. I think it's actually a shortcut, finding a mentor, because you can read a lot, but sometimes the text will not know you that much. But the best thing that you said is about knowing yourself, knowing what you want. And this self-knowledge, I think it's one of the most important things for women, because I think most of our fears and this time that we take to make decisions, it's because we are trying to prove something for someone else, or trying to fit in a path that society told us to be in. But you know what? It's not society who pays our bills, our psychiatrist bills. It's not society that, that comes to the office and does your work. It's you. It's all you. And until proved otherwise, we have this one life, to live. And it's important to know today, yesterday, that what we actually want. Are we doing what we're doing because that's what we love doing and that's what makes us happy, or not? It's because my father told me to, or society as a whole, or my friends are all expecting me to achieve some kind of prize or something like that. And why? So this is I think this is one of the best things that we can take from this conversation of today. Getting to know you, think of you. How do you think of yourself, and what would you like to be doing? And then, of course, asking a mentor to help you on how to get to this place that you like, right?
Because I saw it's very interesting that, Luiza, because there were cases where it was so obvious what the woman should be doing, working, her talent and her passion, but she couldn't see, just because that was not a possibility, because she heard since she was a kid that she wouldn't have received money for that. That's just not going to be happy doing that, and that was a reality. Maybe that was true for her grandmother, her father, or family, but today, if you're good at something, and for sure you have to understand the market and all that, but there's so many possibilities. So and sometimes the person just doesn't see, because she thought, okay, that's not a possibility, because she heard that since she was a kid, So it's interesting what you brought there.
Yeah, and sometimes we are afraid of things that are not real. Taking my example, I used to work for this big law firm, very, very famous one, and it was my mother's dream job, She wanted me to work there, and then I did, and she was so happy, but I was so unhappy, and I really wanted to leave. I really wanted to do anything else, and I started dreaming of things that are totally not me, like selling coconut on the beach, anything other than that. I was totally unhappy. And then I started going to work just because I thought that I would break her heart if I left the firm. But when it was really, I could not, it was unbearable to go there.
Yeah.
I left and I told her, I was crying, and I said, I'm going to disappoint you because I'm going to go to another job and I'm going to leave this law firm that you love. And I said, I don't love the law firm, I love you. I'm happy whenever you are happy. And I'm so happy that you made this decision. And I was like, come on, I thought I was going to disappoint you. And if you said that I was going to do this move years ago.
Last 2 years for nothing. Exactly.
So yeah, sometimes we're afraid of things that are not real, right? And people who really care about us, they're going to feel happy for us, whatever our decision is. And it doesn't matter for people we love if we are, baking cake or, selling cars. It doesn't matter. They love us for who we are, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Perfect.
And you know, Vivian, this has been such a great conversation, and we're coming to an end. And this has been so fast, probably because I'm having so much fun. Um, so, yeah, just as a final question for you, I'm going to ask you for recommendations on, you know, visual content or books or anything you like. But and first, I'm going to give mine. I recently read this "We Should All Be Millionaires" book. I read it and I listened to it because now I'm loving audiobooks. I don't know if you have this thing in your life, but with the pandemics, I decided to try it, and I love it. Whenever I go for walks or I clean my house, do the dishes, I like to listen to books, and it's great. This is my new thing now, and I also heard that book. It's called "We Should All Be Millionaires," and I think it's amazing. It's for women. And then Rachel Rogers, she's the author of the book. She says, well, you know, women sometimes they are ashamed of thinking of saying that they want to be millionaires or, you know, buy things and be powerful because, you know, it's not really something that we've as kids were taught to do, right? But you know what, it doesn't matter, we can be whatever we want, and she gives great tips on how to achieve success, whatever career you are developing, and I think this is a great book. But how about you? Do you have series, films, books, whatever recommendations for women to you know have an inspiration?
Yeah, I'm not good with series. I don't watch I'm terrible with that. Actually, when I meet my friends, everybody's talking about series, and I turn like this because I don't assist series. So I'm gonna talk about books. So there's this book that I use in my mentoring method, a bit of it, which is Ikigai, the Japanese secret of a long and happy life. It's by Hector Garcia and Francesc Miralles. And it's interesting because it's in an island, Ikigai. It's in Okinawa. They discovered that this island in Japan, in Japan, where they have a lot of people with more than 100 years old. I don't know, centenarians. I don't know how to say that in English, but people, a big percentage of people with more than 100 years old. So they decided to understand, I mean, what's going on over there? Why do they live so long, and they have a good life and all that? And then they discovered this Ikigai, which was, I mean, their philosophy, which means the meaning of life. And they choose their work based in their Ikigai. And the Ikigai, it brings like an interesting way. It's like a diagram where you consider your passions, you consider what you're good at, you consider what the world needs, and what can you be paid for. So when the Ikigai is the center of it, which is your purpose. So it's very interesting. I would recommend that. And then there is this one that I read this year that I loved it. I mean, it's Becoming by Michelle Obama, and she's amazing. Her career is amazing, and it's all about purpose, her beliefs, and how much she honors her history, and that's what makes her so determined and so strong, you know, because she all the choices, all the career choices, everything that she did in her career was being, I mean, honoring her history and her beliefs, her values, and all that. So it's amazing. And the one that I just read is Dare to Lead by Brené Brown. And it's about leading with vulnerability. So it's really amazing. I just read it, and before finishing, I'd like to share with you a quote from Sean Connery film. It's called Finding Forrester, and the quote is, I'm gonna get it here. We walk away from our dreams, afraid that we may fail or worse yet, afraid we may succeed. So I'm just gonna leave you with that, which I think it's amazing.
I love it. I got goosebumps. Yeah, I also listened to Become. I love this book, Becoming. I was in this, I had this event where Michelle Obama would be, but it was in the middle of the pandemics and it got canceled. And I was so sad because I love her. So I bought the book, I read the book, and I was, I was going to bring it to her
ready to talk with her.
Yeah, but then they canceled, and I was like, come on, COVID, really? But that's okay. One day I'm going to meet her and she's going to autograph it for me. I love this book, and I also listen to it while doing the dishes and everything. And she's the one reading it. And besides being an amazing woman, she also has this great voice. Seriously, she's beautiful voice. And as to Dare to Lead, I also love this book. I love Brené Brown, and she has a podcast. And I think it's also named Dare to Lead. And she weekly brings amazing women and also men, I guess. But she speaks to very strong people, talking about this, leading, how leaders should, act, how we should achieve our success, being, good to ourselves. And I really love her. I think your recommendations are brilliant. And yeah, Vivian, now it's the end of our conversation. And as to my final remarks, I would like to say that I'm really happy that we had this conversation. I'm really glad and grateful. And I think, we have this recorded, and I think this is going to help many people, and possibly inspire women to take that decision, and feel empowered to become great leaders in whatever career they pursue, because they can, and they should, So
Perfect.
thank you so much, Vivian. Thank you for everyone who's watching.
Thank you, Luiza. Thank you, everybody. And Luiza, please feel free, if people come with new questions or anything, to send me, I don't know, or if you want to share my email or Instagram, I mean, I'll be more than happy to answer to questions and help women to dare and then go to look for, her dreams.
That's good, Vivian, of course. And yes, please, everyone follow BGS, Berkeley Global Society, on LinkedIn. And there, in the posts on this event, you're going to find a link for both Vivian and I LinkedIn pages. You can find us there. But of course, I'll forward. I already have in my WhatsApp. I just took a look. People are asking about you and your Instagram and how they can contact you. Well, thank you so much. This has been great. And thank you, BGS, for organizing all that.
And Vivian, could we just wait for a minute for a picture?
Sure. Picture time.
Okay. Good? Not good?
Yeah, because I froze here.
We're froze.
Yes, we're done. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Vivian. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.